Our legend continues. Welcome back to the Sanders Report. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing here, please consider sponsoring us at patreon.com/SandersPresents. Become a member of our team. We currently have 2 tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. Both tiers get you access to a slate of Discord goodies. In addition to that, at the $5 tier, your name is featured in every video along with these other lovely people. And finally, you get access to regular comic book drops at the $5 tier. Thank you all so much for your support and your continued sponsorship. Here at the Report, we are completely 100% funded by our users, so thank you so much. All right, here we go. The Embracer Group. It was announced that Square Enix is selling Eidos. It is selling all the IPs between it is selling Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, all the IPs between Eidos and Crystal Dynamics. It's selling them all. And it's selling all of them to the Embracer Group. Now, the Embracer Group is a Swedish video game and media holding company based in Karlstad, and the company was established under the name Nordic Games Licensing in 2011 as part of the Nordic Games Group. And again, they went and they renamed to the Embracer Group in September 2019. As of December 2021, the Embracer Group has 10 operative groups as its direct subsidiaries. The Amplifier Game Invest as Modi, Coffee Stain Holding, Dark Horse Media, Deca Games, Easy Brain, Gearbox Entertainment, again, Gearbox Studios is here in Texas, Coach Media, Saber Interactive, and THQ Nordic. So, and each one of those groups also has its own operations, subsidiaries, and development studios. So it is massive. It is a massive, massive company. And now the Embracer Group is adding even more to them in a $300 million deal, which is, it's pretty much most of Square Enix's Western studios and intellectual properties. Like I said, it's Tomb Raider, it's Deus Ex, it's Thief, it's Legacy of Kain. And now, again, so those are the big IPs, and then the studios that are being sold to Embracer include Crystal Dynamics, and again, all of the Crystal Dynamics studios, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, but not the UK-based Square Enix Collective. So that means Square Enix is going to retain publishing rights to Life is Strange, Just Cause, and Outriders. Now, it is a $300 million deal, which seems incredibly low. All of these, I mean, these properties are massive. These are massively successful. They've generated far more than $300 million, so it's incredible. Here's the interesting thing. When you want to talk about the IPs and the studios versus losses, it's also been reported by Square that literally just because of the 2 Marvel games that they have lost $200 million. So they've taken a major hit, and Square Enix really does just want to cut their losses. So the most asked question that I've gotten is, how will this affect Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy? The frank truth is, it could in very significant ways. Square Enix and the Embracer Group have announced that the deal is expected to close in September 2022. Again, it's a relatively small deal, so it will close relatively quickly. But by September 2022, the deal will be done, and all of this will transfer over to the Embracer Group. Now, here is the problem. Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal worked on Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, respectively. They worked on that because their parent company, Square Enix, contractually acquired the license to the Marvel library of characters. And yes, the entire library of Marvel characters. But it was only a license, and it was not an exclusive one. So Square Enix acquired a license to develop games based on Marvel's entire slate of characters. Square Enix then took that license, and they said, okay, Crystal Dynamics, you want to make a game? Crystal Dynamics wanted to, so again, Crystal Dynamics made an Avengers game. Then it was Square Enix, and the same thing happened with Eidos Montreal. The thing is, though, is that Eidos Montreal also helped on Marvel's Avengers, so there is some crossover, some cross-pollination there. So Eidos Montreal developed Guardians of the Galaxy, and Marvel's Avengers was developed by Crystal Dynamics and their suite of studios. And all of that started in 2017 to where we are now in 2022, and they've released, again, just 2 games, Marvel's Avengers and then Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's all they've put out, and they've lost a combined $200 million. So where does that put these IPs? Square Enix is apparently pretty much cutting their losses in terms of most of their Western developers, and they're also cutting most of their losses in terms of licensing. It is reported that Square Enix will not renew the license with Marvel. But here's the thing. Marvel made the contract with Square Enix. When Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are sold to Embracer, that license does not go with them. The rights to publish don't even go with Embracer. Now, Square Enix is selling those rights. So at this point, Embracer will or could rather publish Guardians of the Galaxy and continue to sell it, and they can continue to sell Marvel's Avengers. They could theoretically do that. Here is the catch. The Embracer Group, the parent company, does not have a license or a contract with Disney Marvel. So the Embracer Group has to spend $300 million to acquire all of these studios, and these IPs and these publishing rights. So they'll acquire all of that. Then they have to go, the Embracer Group then has to go and talk with Disney Marvel and reach a contractual agreement for a Marvel license to publish and support Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel's Avengers. Avengers more so because Avengers is supposed to be a live service game, so it actually needs ongoing support. Otherwise, it would just be a simple, publishing agreement. Marvel's Avengers though actually needs ongoing support, or is supposed to have that anyway, theoretically. The fact of the matter is that as of the recording of this video, there is no contract. Disney and Marvel have not agreed to allow Embracer to publish and continue support for Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. For all we know, those two games could end up becoming just vaporware, like the Deadpool games or anything else that's been pulled because of the contract with Activision. We know how quickly these things disappear. Because here's the thing. Disney does not offer discounts. There is no discounts. Disney does not offer any discount for the Marvel license. We know that because of people we've spoken to in video game development and in toy development. There are no discounts. The Embracer Group will have to pay the same amount as Square Enix did. The question is, are they willing to do that? The question is, are they willing to spend $300 million to acquire this back catalog, which is like 50 games, 50 games and the IPs and the publishing rights and all this? But will they then spend on top of that additional money for licenses to continue to sell Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel's Avengers? Two games that, if you'll allow me to say, for all intents and purposes, based on the general consumer consensus, and just based on the polling that we've done on this channel, are considered dead in the water. They are not even selling under Square Enix. They are not selling. Okay? Is Embracer capable of turning that around? Are they capable of doing this? Are they capable of doing that? Those are all kinds of different conversations. And the fact of the matter is that there is no answers. There is no answer right now. The Embracer Group have said that they will meet with Disney, but it is now up to additional costs, and it is up to whether or not Disney even wants to do this with this group, because Disney didn't make a deal with this group. Disney made a deal with Square Enix because of Disney's relationship with Square Enix publishing Kingdom Hearts. It is very different now. It's going to be really interesting to see how this pans out. Right now, honestly, these deals fall through all the time. So if you are a fan of the Avengers, I would go in really low expectations. I would prepare for the realization that come October, Avengers could potentially be dead. All the data mining in the world won't fucking matter. I would prepare for that. I would prepare for that scenario and then be pleasantly surprised. But again, with the deal closing in September, we're going to hear relatively soon about this licensing agreement. Embracer and Disney are going to have to come to some sort of agreement, and there will be a press release. And honestly, I believe there's going to be a press release one way or the other, because if they say no, then Embracer, Crystal Dynamics are going to have to say, hey, listen, we legally can't support this game anymore. It's done. After September, it's gone. It could potentially be pulled completely. That's the reality. That's reality. So, yeah. The best case scenario that I'd be preparing for now is trying to get some grassroots movement to make sure Crystal Dynamics, if they do have to shut the game down and if they are not able to support it anymore, that there is a grassroots movement to have all that marketplace stuff available for free in the game when it shuts down, that you'll be able to access it. And if they don't do that, then I'm sure modders will figure out something. I say that, but this game never really attracted a huge modding community. The game never really attracted a massive community. I mean, there's just isn't one. So I don't know if anything that's in the data mining. I don't know if people are going to try to resurrect anything. I highly doubt it. That's just it. So let me know your thoughts and how you feel on this. What do you think is the more likely outcome when September arrives? What do you see happening between Disney and Embracer? Because at this point, it's not Square Enix's problem anymore. Which I guess, hey, good for them. That's what they wanted. They don't want this to be their problem anymore. They don't want, because as far Square Enix has been completely disappointed in their Western studios. Just based on everything we've heard. It's not their problem anymore. What happens between Embracer and Disney, Square Enix gets to wash their hands of it and gets to go make Kingdom Hearts. That's their partnership with Disney at this point. And that's going to be their only partnership with Disney at this point. So thank you so much for your continued support to all of my patrons. Again, if you are able, please visit us at patreon.com/SandersPresents. That link is available in the description below. While you're down there in the description below, there's also an invitation to our amazing Discord community, The Tower, so please check that out. And finally, my debut novel, 89 Instrument of Destruction, is available to order now from Amazon. So thank you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share our content with your friends. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. Above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a legendary day. Bye, everyone.